Kovalenko. Kovalenko working around. Haller takes the shot, the rebound. They score. Bure on the rebound.
You're right, as he got around Haller, the Soviet took the shot. Fissette made the save and Bure in. It didn't look like there was much room for Bure to, only 15 seconds left on the penalty, and he gets it. There's the save by Fissette as Bure just comes from nowhere and gets it up high, and I don't know if he put it right in or just shoveled it in, but nevertheless, 6-4. You'll see the good play coming around here as Haller can't handle the Soviet Kovalenko. He takes the shot. Bure puts in the rebound.
Kozlov back into his own zone. Power play goal for the Soviets. 5 minutes in the third period. 6-4. Canada leading the Soviet Union. The Soviets to the attack again. Kaminsky feeding it in on the left side for Oksuda too far. Norris along the boards trying to get it loose. Haller in his own zone finally is able to dump it down the ice. Karpatsov moves it along the boards to Oksuda. Oksuda with that quick shot, and Fissette with the save. Kozlov in the slot, couldn't get a shot away. Oksuda goes to the corner after it. Oksuda tied up. The puck goes to the boards, and it's fired down the ice by Dwayne Norris.
Good scoring chance, though. Plavsic got caught moving on the other side, and the Soviets like to put it back on the same side it came from. And Fissette, it looked like a very ordinary shot, but nevertheless about a 15-footer slot area, made the save.
Canada 4-13 away from victory, hanging on to a 2-goal lead. 6 consecutive goals by Canada before the Soviets scored on the power play. They have scored twice with the man advantage. Canada has scored 3 times on the power play. Nemesnikov chases it down in his own zone. Cross ice to Ivanov. Lindros with another good hit along the boards on Patayachuk. Lead pass intended for Lindros, too far for him. And there's an icing call as Manderville attempted to use his speed and get there ahead of the 2 Soviets. They were able to touch it, but they both went crashing into the end boards.
Well, you don't want to sit back. Just a little under 4 minutes remaining. A couple of face-offs coming up. Lindros had got that last face-off and knocked it off, and you'll see the 2 Soviets colliding. I think it was Manderville who went in. That's what Canada's been able to do tonight, is have that first guy in really chasing the puck. They have not allowed the Soviet defensemen to really get involved with the play, and that's been a big factor in the 6-4 lead.
Now, Guy Chiron gave his team the morning off. They did not skate. They played a little soccer instead this morning just to get them loose. With the number of nagging injuries on the team, he might also give them tomorrow off.
Yeah, I was kidding you about the soccer. I said Lindros had sprained his ankle, but maybe the best soccer player I saw out there, Don, I was scouting, was the coach, Guy Chiron. I didn't even know he played soccer. But I think it's just that they want to get some physical activity. They know they've played last night. There's a lot of downtime for the players, and maybe playing back-to-back games. I was fearful that this might hurt Canada coming in against a rested Soviet team, but it's been to Canada's advantage. They've skated better tonight than last night.
Ratushny playing it around the boards for Manderville. Manderville takes a look, decides to try and come out the other way. Cuts right in front of his own net. That almost proved costly as he was upset by Batsayev. Lindros runs into Bure, the 2 of them in a big collision back of the goal. Batsayev looking out front. Centered it, but Lindros takes it to safety back of the goal. Plays it off the boards, but not out. Weak shot knocked down. Another shot fired wide. Soviets applying pressure, trailing by 2 late in the third period. Batsayev leaves it there for Bure. Back to the point, just out of the reach of Gordiuk.
This has been the most pressure the Soviets have been able to have. Canada not being able to clear the zone, and it was a poor play by the Soviet forward that actually pulled the puck over the blue line.
An offside call against the Soviets. 17:07, the time gone by in the third period. Canada leading by a score of 6-4. Dave Chizowski has scored twice for the Canadian team.
Sharon explaining the play to Manderville. I think when he felt Manderville went in front of the net and lost the puck, just clear it over the blue line and take the pressure off.
Haller crosses the center line, then fires it into Soviet territory. Pellerin steps into the Soviet defenseman. Haller keeps it in. Haller with the shot, the save by Tkachenko. Needham comes up with it in the corner, flipping it back of the net for Barnes, out of his reach. Kozlov is forced to circle and try and come out the other way. Pellerin forces a turnover, gets it free to Barnes. Barnes back of the net, looking for someone to pass to, tried to get it to the point to Haller. It was knocked down by the Soviets. Kozlov puts on the brakes, takes a shot, goes after the rebound. They jam it at the side of the net. It's picked up by Pellerin, and he bangs it off the boards and down the ice. This will be another icing call against Canada, but there are only 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the game.
You don't mind face-offs in this situation when you're in a little bit of difficulty. Canada's done very well on the face-offs in this game, as well as covering the point man. And I think Sharon has had the good game plan in his own end. I've been impressed the way Canada has really taken away that slot area, and it's not very often you can keep the Soviet defensemen out of the attack, which Canada's been able to do tonight.
Face off to the left of Facette. Draper against Jamnov. Right up along the boards by Malgunas, but not out. Gatushny off the boards for Pellerin. He drives it down the ice. This will be another icing call against Canada. 18-14 into the third period. You know, one individual who will be watching with a great deal of interest back home is Dennis McDonald, now an assistant general manager with the Winnipeg Jets for a number of years, a member of this Canadian junior program with the CAHA as a director of operations.
They've been able to mold a good organization between the Canadian junior operators and the CHA to provide a very solid club in here to this year again, and I've been impressed the way the coaching staff has been able to bring this team. They're getting better each game.
Patayachuk being harassed there by Ratushny as they go to the corner. Now Malgunas comes up with it. Malgunas off Chizowski and down the ice, and this will be another icing call against Canada. No, it's waved off as Draper forced the goaltender to play the puck. Patayachuk circling at center ice to the Canadian line, knocked down by Brisbois as the Canadians attempt to flip it into the Soviet zone. It goes over the boards and out of play. And again, we point out that the glass does not encircle the entire playing area, so as a result you get a lot of pucks going out of play.
Good hustle by Draper prevented the stoppage of play, which would have resulted in a face-off in Canada's defensive zone. He forced the goaltender Tkachenko to come up and play that puck, and that's the one area you regard when you're always with a minute to go. A quick face-off play can result in a goal with a lot of time left, so that was one face-off that was well prevented.
1:11, the time remaining. Ricci knocks it down into the Soviet zone. Gordiuk moves it along the boards to Batsayev. Batsayev to Bure. He couldn't control it. Flipped back out to center ice by Canada. Chizowski is hit with a solid body check by Gordiuk as he came in across the blue line. Kovalenko along the right wing boards. Still no move by the Soviet goaltender to head for the bench. Here's Bure going for the goal. The shot and the save by Facette. 39 seconds remaining in the game. Pushing and shoving after that save. Bure has been frustrated a number of times in this game by Stefan Facette. But something the Soviets and many European teams don't do when they trail by a goal, or in this case 2 goals, is pull their goaltender, and there's been no movement to get Tkachenko out of the net. Here's Facette with the save on Bure.
Probably looking at the percentage that it maybe works in your favor, but you're in this type of situation with 39 seconds to go. The face-off is coming out. However, as they ruled, I think the Soviets really don't know what happened, but He must have ruled that the Soviets had come in because the face-off is outside the Canadian blue line.
39 seconds remaining. As we have pointed out before, on the 3 occasions that Canada has defeated the Soviet Union in this tournament, the only 3 times that Canada has won, they have also won the gold medal. So perhaps this is an omen.
Well, it's an awfully big game, and the fact that Canada will play Sweden, if they could get by that, that sets the stage. Like you mentioned, Czechoslovakia have 1 game remaining, and that's against the Soviet Union. So it looks like that our telecast on January the 4th is going to be for that gold medal, unless Canada really falls flat on its face against Sweden, and still 35 seconds to go in this game.
In the 1982 tournament, Canada won by a score of 7-0. The game was played in Winnipeg. In '85, when the game was played in Turku, Canada won 5-0. And in 1988 in Moscow, Canada won 3-2. From the face-off, the puck is fired wide of the net. A battle along the boards as Canada attempts to get it out, and some pushing and shoving following the whistle. And again, Guy Chiron is yelling at his players to get out of there. Stay away from any altercation. Do not take foolish penalties at this stage of the game. Just 25 seconds left.
Dick Todd rushed to Guy Chiron, call a timeout. They're allowed the 1 timeout. Same in North American hockey. So with just 25 seconds left, they want to set this up and make sure that the Canadian players on the ice know what they're going to do, Don, with 25 seconds left.
Wearing the headset, that's Dick Todd, the head coach of the Peterborough Petes, and he has been over to tournaments in Europe before with the Canadian junior team. In the past, when he was involved, it was the Memorial Cup Championship team that came over. And then in '82, they went to the national team program.
He was talking as early as 1973. They had a shot at a gold medal with the Peterborough Petes, and he said that halfway through the game, they were down 1-0 to the Soviets. That was in Leningrad, and they lost that game 9-0. They only lost 1 game in that tournament, but they've called the timeout. They've tried to settle the team down. And it's been a tremendous effort for Canada to come back here tonight. And I'd say the unsung players, fellas like Draper, that's really come through for this club. And, you know, he's been on the ice a lot. He's a good defensive. That's why they put him on the team. He's an excellent defensive player. They felt leading in games, they'd need that type of player. And here we are right now.
Well, his father is here. He's very proud. And his uncle, Dave Draper, who was also involved with the junior program for a number of years, will be watching. I'm sure he's very proud of the effort. Patayachuk centering it, nobody there, and Haller lugs it out with 15 seconds remaining. Fired down into the Soviet zone. Ivanov plays it off the boards, but it's picked up in the neutral area by Canada. Dumped in by Manderville, and that will do it. That will end the hockey game. Canada with a tremendous comeback, trailing by a score of 3-0 in the first period, scoring 6 consecutive goals and winning it by a score of 6-4.
And it was good, Don, for once to see penalties play a part positively for Canada, because the Soviet team took 2 penalties in that first period that got Canada back in the game, and that's generally been the story. We've been frustrated taking a lot of penalties, but tonight Canada showed good discipline and capitalized on foolish Soviet penalties to get back in this game.
Well, Canada got a big lift on those 2 power play goals. I think they also got another lift with Stéphane Fossette making a save late in that first period when Canada was trailing.